Unicorns are awesome. As soon as I heard these unicorn macaroons were the new trending thing, I had to make them. Teal, have you ever made macaroons before? Not successfully. Don't you think you should try to make something simpler, like just the round macaroons, if you haven't really quite made them yet? No. There's a lot of different macaroon recipes out there, but this particular recipe and the templates for these designs I found on a blog that I will link down below called Loving Creations. They are super adorable, and hopefully ours actually look like they're supposed to when we're done. First thing you're supposed to do is sift together the powdered sugar and the almond flour. And then we're supposed to take half of our egg whites from the recipe and mix them in here until it forms a thick paste. This is a lot of dry stuff and this is not a lot of egg whites, so we'll see how this works. I am literally just gonna use my hands because I know that it's gonna be easier. Here we go. Look, a thick paste! Now we're supposed to divide this into 5 different little bowls because we're gonna use 5 different colors. It's kind of a weird ratio, so I'm gonna put my amounts that I use down in the description below. So in case you wanna make this, you know how much I divided this battery paste stuff into. I also lied, it's 6 colors. Then I have the Italian meringue that we're supposed to mix into the pasty mass stuff, and we're supposed to divide this into each of the 6 bowls. I also didn't really read the recipe to find out when you were supposed to add the color to these, and when I printed it off I think I accidentally forgot to copy that part, so I'm just gonna add the color now and hope it turns out okay. Pink, blue, purple, green, and yellow. I'm out of my gel color yellow, so I'm gonna use liquid. I know they say not to usually use liquid because it can thin out the mixture, but I'm not gonna add too much, so I think it'll be okay. So now we're supposed to mix the meringue into the paste that we made until it gets a lava-like consistency, which I've heard before in making macaroons, and lava-like is not particularly specific, but I've seen enough Nat Geo videos to kind of know what lava looks like, so we'll just mix it until it looks like it belongs on National Geographic. I also used my electric colors, so they're all going to be really bright. Hey, that's kind of lava-like. Almost. Is that lava-y enough? I don't know. This is the hard part of macaroons. They're like, until it feels right. I don't know what feels right. Ooh, okay. I think that looks pretty good because it's kind of spreading real slow like lava does in nature videos. And then after you get it to your Nat Geo lava level, you're supposed to put it in frosting bags that have tips. It says a Wilton number 8 tip for the white, which is gonna be for the unicorn body. And then the rest are supposed to be number 5. I have 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I only have 5 again. I have 6 bowls. Whatever. Point is, I don't really have the right kind of tips, but I'm gonna wing it like I do with everything else, so should be fine. Pro tip for when you're loading a bag with something really liquid, twist the bag with the tip on it, and then squish it inside the tip, and then the stuff won't start flowing out as you load your bag. Also, I only have huge bags, so this is gonna look ridiculous, but it's all I've got, so. This bag won't have a tip because I'm out of tips, so I just cut the first little bit off so it has a little hole, and then I'm gonna fold it over and clip it so the stuff doesn't run out. I just have no idea if these are mixed enough. Now we just want to squeeze all this down into the tip. You can use your counter, like so. All right, and these are the templates that she put up on the blog for Loving Creations for you. And you can print these out. I totally give her credit for these. We have shooting stars and the unicorns. So we put them on your cookie sheet and then you put a piece of parchment paper over top and then you can see through and just trace the whole thing. The directions are a little bit complex for piping them. You have to do it like in a certain order and everything. And I have the picture pulled up on my phone so I know what colors she used for what. because they look adorable. So I want to follow that, and all the directions can be found on her blog post. Okay, I only have 2 cookie sheets, and the recipe says this makes more than I could fit of the template on the 2 cookie sheets. So I improvised, and I'm using 9 by 13 pans, but you just use the back, and it's like a smaller cookie sheet. Perfect. All right, let's see if we can make these things. Okay, so now they're all piped and they still kind of look like what they're supposed to be. We have unicorns and we have shooting stars. Some of the unicorns are getting a little bit fat, but you know, oh well. Now the recipe says to let these sit for 1 hour to 2 hours so the tops can dry. Like you're supposed to be able to touch the top of the macaroon and it's not sticky at all. It basically has to form like kind of a skin. We'll see how long that actually takes. But we'll come back when they're done and hopefully they look like proper macaroons. Oh my gosh, you guys look. They're baked and they still look like little unicorns. Okay, so I started to take all of the little macaroon shells off of the paper and I stopped because I wanted to show you guys something. Some of the shells didn't bake quite long enough. That's okay. It makes them a little bit tough to get off the paper, and instead of peeling the macaroon off of the paper, when they're stuck like this, what you want to do is peel the paper away from the macaroon. Now, if I show you what I mean by that, what you want to do, instead of trying to peel the macaroon off the paper and it ends up tearing and you're left with half the macaroon still on here, what you want to do is take the paper, you're going to kind of hold the macaroon and you're actually going to peel the paper away. And the macaroon shell you're going to hold still. That way it comes off in one piece. Okay, so here's all of the shells, totally done. The first batch that I put in the oven, I definitely overbaked. I followed the directions and I think maybe mine were a little bit too thin. So now they're kind of more like animal crackers. Very crunchy and kind of brown, but still edible. The second batch I put in for shorter time, but they still ended up just a little bit too crunchy. So the final 2 trays, the big tray unicorns and the big tray of shooting stars, I put in for a little bit less time and ended up underbaking them. Oh well, as you can see, macaroons are pretty tricky, but I'm super happy because these still look like unicorns. They didn't like spread out and get weird, and these still look like shooting stars. Okay, but let's get real for a second. People tend to get so bent out of shape about macaroons, and they'll say things like, oh, I went to this bakery and the macaroons, they're perfect and they're amazing, and these ones that are at this other place are no good at all. They are terrible and horrible. And I think that kind of scares people when they want to make them themselves. I see so many things online for what's the best trick to making macaroons. I need a foolproof macaroon recipe. The fact is, they're just tricky things to make. There are different kinds using French meringue or using Swiss or Italian meringue. And they're all just kind of tricky and it takes practice, and you shouldn't get discouraged if you try to make macaroons and they don't turn out perfect. And if someone ever discourages you because of the food that you made and the fact that it's not good enough for them, then they don't have to eat it. If you want to try making something, then try making it. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but at least you're trying, and that's what's important. And you should always have fun trying new things. Now sometimes it can get frustrating, especially if you've tried more than once and things just aren't seeming to work out right. But you just have to keep trying, especially with things like macaroons, which are complicated. Just make what makes you feel happy. Okay, but back to it. The only thing left to do with these is to fill them with the buttercream. I have some leftover vanilla bean Swiss meringue buttercream that I made for a cake. You may have seen it on Instagram. I just made that for fun. But I had some left over, so why not fill the macaroons with it? Plus it's perfect because it's all white and vanilla-y, which kind of reminds me of unicorns. The recipe on Loving Creations for You uses a ganache recipe to fill these with, but I didn't make it just because I have this left over and I want to go ahead and use this. I also have it fitted with a small star tip, so it's a little extra fancy. You guys ever hear when people say that something's so cute they don't want to eat it? Yeah, I don't do that. And they're so good! Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been wanting to make these for a while and I'm so glad that I finally did. If you want to stay up to date with new videos, hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!